welcome back to the channel. I'm Amani Forrester, author of the book 30 Reasons Why Men Deserve Nothing. It's available right now on Amazon and it's free to read if you have Kindle Unlimited. We also have a Patreon now for videos and deep dives that might be a little too much for YouTube. Links are in the description. Also, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but many of you are being unsubscribed without your knowledge or consent, so please make sure to check that you're still subscribed and hit the bell notification so you never miss a video. Hey y'all, Amani here. So I want to read one of the most important articles I've ever found about DV to y'all. Please make sure to save and share this video with anyone you think needs to hear it. So the man on the screen is Chuck Derry, and he's the founder of Gender Violence Institute and the Minnesota Men's Action Network, Alliance to Prevent Smexual and DV. He's pro-women, and he's been working on women's behalf for years to study males who batter, understand why they do it, and hold them accountable for their crimes. Back in 2015, he wrote a viral article called Abusive Men Describe the Benefits of Violence. The article begins with Derry explaining that for many years, he used to hold court-mandated groups for males who batter their partners. He said, in the early 1980s, we were concentrating on healthy relationship skills building, emotional identification and self-control, and anger management, among other related issues. Duluth, Minnesota began gathering to discuss the impact of the violence on their lives. What emerged was that the men who beat them not only physically assaulted them, but also controlled every aspect of their lives. Basically, the men got to control the women to get what the men wanted, and the violence and use of violence was the bottom line that ensured it would happen. He continued to explain that he was training men in weekly groups at the time to use assertiveness when in conflict with their wives or girlfriends, teaching them how to access and express their feelings appropriately. Then he would send them home to practice. But the next week, they would come back and report that their new assertiveness skills were not working. Derry asked them why, and they would say, because she still did A, B, C, and D, and would not do E, F, and G, which is what he wanted. Slowly, Derry began to understand that he was teaching men multiple personal life skills, and they were simply using those skills in attempts to control women even more effectively. So what was the point? One night he started the group by asking the men what they thought the benefits were of their violence. At first they all looked at each other and said, there are no benefits. This did not surprise Derry, as men who batter routinely deny their actions, as they deny their intents as well. So he said, well, there must be some benefits from the violence, otherwise why would you do it? They looked at each other again, and then one guy started admitting that there were benefits, and then they all chimed in until the 4x8-foot blackboard he was writing the responses on was full, and eventually Derry ran out of space, meaning there were endless benefits. Here is a list of the benefits they cited according to Derry.
She's scared and won't go out and spend money. She's scared and won't go out and spend money. Get your way, go out, respect. She won't argue. Feeling superior, she's accountable to me in terms of being somewhere on time. I decide, keeps relationship going. She's too scared to leave. Get the money, get smex, total control and decision making. Use money for drugs, don't have to change for her. Power. Decide where to go as a couple, who to see, what to wear, control the children. If she's late, she won't be again. Intimidation. She's scared and can't confront me. Can convince her she's screwing up. She feels less worthy, so defers to my needs and wants. She will look up to me and accept my decisions without an argument. Decide her social life, what she wears so you can keep your image by how she acts. She's to blame for the battering. She's an object. I get a robot babysitter, maid, sex, food, ego booster. She tells me I'm great. Bragging rights. If she works, get her money. Get her to quit job so she can take care of the house. Isolate her so friends can't confront me. Decide how money is spent. I'm breadwinner. Buy the toys I want, take time for myself. She has to depend on me if I break her stuff. I get to know everything. She's a nursemaid. She comforts me. Supper on the table. Invite friends over without her knowing, which means more work for her. No compromise equals more freedom. Don't have to listen to her complaints for not letting her know stuff. She works for me. I don't have to help out. I don't have to hang out with her or kids. determine what values kids have, who they play with, what school they go to, or getting to ignore the process, dictating what they need food, clothes, recreation, etc., dictate reality, etc. Kids on my side against her. Kids do what I say, mold kids and her so that they will help do what I should do. Keeps kids quiet about abuse. Don't have to get up, take out garbage, watch kids, do dishes, get up at night with kids, do laundry, change diapers, clean house, bring kids to appointments or activities, mop floors, clean refrigerator, etc. Answer to nobody. Do what you want when you want to. Get to ignore, deny your history of violence and other irresponsible behavior. Get to write history. Get to determine future. Choose battles and what it will cost her. Proves your superiority. Win all the arguments. Don't have to listen to her wishes, complaints, anger, fears, etc. Make the rules, then break them when you want. So she won't get help against you for past beatings because she has no friends to support her and she is confused by my lies. Convince her she's nuts. Convince her she's unattractive. Convince her she's to blame. Convince her she's the problem. I can dump on her. Can use kids to spy on mom. Kids won't tell mom what I did. Kids won't disagree with me. Don't have to talk to her. I'm king of the castle. Can make yourself scarce. Have someone to unload on. Have someone to bitch at. She won't call police. Tell kids don't have to listen to mom. Get her to drop charges. Get her to support me, to her family, my family, cops, judge, SCIP, prosecutors, etc. Get her to admit it's her fault.
Derry said the first time he did this exercise, he looked at the blackboard and he thought, "Oh my god, why would they give it up?" He then decided to ask the men, "Why give it up?" They then filled a 2 by 2 foot space on the blackboard with things like get arrested, divorce, get protection orders taken out against you, adult kids don't invite you to their weddings, have to go to groups like this, and that was about it. This was the first time Derry fully understood the necessity of a consistent, coordinated community response through the criminal, civil, and family court systems, which can met out safe and effective interventions that hold men who batter accountable while preserving the safety of the women, girls, and boys they abuse. It was on that day that Derry realized if he had to choose between providing batterer groups for men who batter or a consistently effective criminal and civil/family court response to DV, he would choose the criminal and civil/family court response every time. There are just too many benefits gained from this behavior. After the first time asking the men about the benefits of their violence, he began to be more effective in his work. He said it was astounding how dramatically the groups changed once he acknowledged and remembered that the violence was functional, and that was why they used it. This was a painful read for me the first time I came across this article a couple of years ago because it shatters the propaganda that was sold about men just not knowing how to express themselves. Growing up in this society, we're fed the lie that men just weren't raised to properly express themselves. You just need to be patient or teach them, or they just need help. And while this may be the case in some rare situations, the majority of violent males have considered all the benefits they gain from battering, and so they make the conscious choice to do so every day. They know exactly what they're doing, and if you make them go to therapy, they just learn how to manipulate you more effectively. I believe this is partly why there's a lonely male crisis, since so many women are realizing that they don't have to deal with DV, narcissistic abuse, and weaponized incompetence. And this is also why it's so important to leave at the first red flag. I remember when I was a kid and a grown woman said she would never tolerate a partner who stood up over her in the middle of a heated argument. I didn't understand it at first, but she explained that a man sitting down who gets mad and suddenly stands up, especially if he's taller than you, is displaying threatening body language. He's trying to intimidate you in a non physical way. If you didn't back down at that point, what would he do next? Draw back his arm and swing at you? Don't even wait for things to get that far. Her reasoning has stuck with me all my life, and I definitely agree with her now. That's aggression. Most, if not all, violent males wake up and choose violence, and they will continue to do so because it works. It gets them what they want and controls the people around them. It lets them get away with stuff that they shouldn't be able to. The only deterrents are things that inconvenience or embarrass them, like missing out on special family moments or being arrested. I've always meant to share this information here on this channel in case anyone has yet to hear about this article and Derry's findings, so I do hope it was eye opening to at least someone. And I'll leave a link to the article in the description as well if you ever want to reference it or share it. Yeah, it'll be there. Definitely share your thoughts in the comments if you'd like. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.